Hey folks, this is Kalani. We're in the Super Adventure Box in World 2, Zone 1. Now, these videos are going to be basically a get to the finish style, so I won't be showing any secrets in these videos, I probably won't even be entering any shops, and I'm probably going to skip as many enemies as possible. So the deal here is basically, if you're a little stuck with any of the jumps, any of the puzzles, and basically can't find your way to the end, this is going to be a nice resource for you. So these are going to be basic zone runs, and we'll obviously start with Zone 1. Now I'll point out anything which may be a little difficult or not immediately obvious. Now remember, if you're running this with more than one person, you'll all need to make it to a checkpoint before it opens. I'd recommend throwing a few bombs here, because that second crocodile can be a real pain. Apart from that, the whip works fine. Just remember that once you've equipped something, you'll need to unequip it before you can use the rest of your items. Once again, bombs work fabulously. If we can get far back enough. Getting hit by any of these rapids will throw you quite far back, and because this is kind of awkward in how it works with the rapids, it'll throw you all the way back and then change direction, so it'll throw you all the way the other way until it eventually throws you off at the edge. Now, one thing to worth noting is if you're getting hit by rapids, there is a brief moment of invulnerability as you get up, which you can use to jump. Now, if you're close to something, you can actually jump in that small space of time onto an object, and that'll save you, hopefully, a few trips back. Now, we're going to be facing some assassins here. You've got a few choices. You can try whip them as they come near you. You can try kill them with the slingshot. Or you can try kill them with bombs. Or completely avoid them entirely. The melee assassins, these ones, are very annoying in that they'll chase you for quite a while and knock you back. Sometimes they do damage when they run through you, sometimes they don't. It's kind of inconsistent in that matter. I'd run away and jump off as soon as you can. Now, this gets a little bit awkward on your own. When you've got a group, it's usually quite fine, but you'll have assassins spawning all the time. I'd recommend staying in the middle, and when you get the melee assassins, try to move away from where they're landing. They'll take 3 hits each, so it's kind of awkward. What you can try and do is whip them. If you get a whip off, then it'll make things a lot easier, but sometimes the whip they evade it, which is really awkward. If you get knocked off on the rapids, it'll count as an instant kill, so you want to avoid that at all costs. Thankfully, the shuriken throwing assassins are pretty easy to deal with. Okay, not too bad. Once again, the rapids will lead to a very nice trip off the cliff and your death. So avoid that at all costs. Now, the slingshot here is really useful. Just make sure you're on level with the crocodile. And for the last item we'll need, we actually need our torch. Or candle, depending on which one you've got. You can kill the bears, but it's kind of awkward, and he starts throwing Molotovs at you. Toads are really frustrating. You'll have to throw a bomb at them to deal with them. It's the best way I've found. Bombs are so useful. So there's the jump that I was talking about, although I'd rather not have shown it. Make sure you've got a decent amount of baubles, otherwise you're not going to be able to use your slingshot or your bombs, and they become very important. So here we've got jumping fish as well. Now getting hit by a fish will knock you back, so obviously it's not ideal. But it's not necessarily the end of the world. If you get knocked back onto a platform, it's a damn sight better than getting knocked back onto rapids, rather. So you've usually got two routes up these. You can either go all the way up on the geysers, or you can... There's usually rocks. Well, that wasn't ideal. Now you can see we can either go up the rocks here, or we could have gone along with the geysers. I prefer the rocks because they don't randomly disappear. And jump through the waterfall. Oh, we don't want to go that far up. Okay. Okay, so we get to play Frogger. Now, some of these rapids can be a little bit off. And some of the jumps can be very close. But overall, it's usually not too bad. Now you don't have to do that, I just like to annoy the hillbillies. It's interesting that kind of both of the minigames here are in the first zone, so you want to drop that so we've got an easy way back up. Also allows you to use different levels. As you can see down, we've got different levels of where you can basically start this puzzle. I like to start from the top, and basically we've got 5 logs that we need to jump across. That wasn't ideal, but it's okay. Try and land back at the portal or somewhere which you can get up. Now, what we've got is logs that move slower and logs that move faster, and they're... So we've got a slow one, then a fast one, then a slow one, then a fast one. So we need to line them up nicely. And you need to make sure that you're high enough so that you can make the next one. And you've got to keep a decent height, which is not the easiest of things sometimes. Very close, but you get the idea. Sometimes it can be really close, sometimes you've got plenty of time. We can see the boss just ahead of us. A few more of these spinning flowers, which I despise because of that. Some of these can be really temperamental, but I think if you go towards one side, it seems to like you better. Oops. So, flowers hate me. However, apparently there's no however. Yeah, so to one side seems to be the best option. I don't know why, but after that you're free to bash on the boss's cage, He'll have some crazy attacks. But you can set it on auto attack and just happily whack away. He seems to attack the same 4 points. So there's always a safe spot. He also does a circle shot which covers the entirety of the platform. We'll see if he does that for us. Yep, there we go. Now you can dodge roll that, or you can obviously move to the outer areas of the platform, but it only takes off 1 heart, so it's not too bad to deal with. That's it for Zone 1. You'll get happily ported to Zone 2 after completion. Remember that the glorious chest inside the big chest is actually account-wide daily, which is kind of annoying, but it saves you farming up all those bauble bubbles, which apparently was an issue. So, thanks for watching folks, stay tuned for more, and as always, I'll see you next time.